All right. Hey, gang. Welcome to the show before the show. I checked to make sure everything's working, including me, apparently. I just added the links to these decks in the description, and if you're watching this after the fact, well then, you already know that. You didn't need to hear me say that, but you just did. How are you guys doing? Just slammed an entire pizza in 15 minutes to make sure I was here for you. You're welcome. And two, I'm just watching Friends for the first time, and I don't just mean unceremoniously when it happens to be on TV. I mean actually sitting to watch Friends. And it's okay. It's a pretty fun time. But yeah, there's a poll that should be running for the folks that tune in late. Sorry you don't get to participate. It's a really good one. I'll leave it running for like another 2 minutes, 4:55, and then I'll cut it off. Why not? Is it an important one? No, not at all. But, you know, maybe a future one will be, and you'll have wanted to tune in for the live stream to participate. And not my real name, sorry, says hello. But what is your real name? What kind of pizza? God, I gotta tell you, I don't have to tell you, but I will. The pizza I got was just a dirty, sloppy, cheap Papa John's pizza, because it's the only pizzeria that's like quick nearby. I say quick. It was 55 minutes. It's literally a New York block away, which is to say that translates to a good 2.5 to 3 minute walk, right, from where I am. A block and a half away, I should say, to get to my door and ring the buzzer. Should be able to walk in New York block a little bit quicker than that. But it's not that far. And it took that long to get here. But it was Alfredo. And I know they're not busy. I've walked by them. It's middle of the day. It was Alfredo sauce with pineapple and grilled chicken. Now hear me out. I know a lot of people don't like pineapple pizza. Shame on you. But it's delicious. You get the mix of sweet with a little bit of salt from that cheese and the Alfredo sauce, clearly. The grilled chicken has a nice bite to it. You got to add a little bit of protein, especially when you're working out. But no, it was more of a guilt pizza because our car broke down today. I had to take it to an auto body shop down the street. Lord knows how much I want to pay for that service. So anytime I make a payment I don't necessarily want to do out of the blue, I treat myself to something. So it was pizza today. There you go. My one moment of bitching over. Okay. Hi, Pat. Hey, Jeff. Hey! Your list is being showcased today. It is the second of the two. I think I might have said that to you. But it's the second of the two, so I'm ready for it. It looks good so far. So I'm not worried about it. The Sultai Super Friends, I'm going to have a tough time with. But I'm excited for it, and that's what we're starting with. Hey, Pat, I'm good. I played some sweet games with Sithis and Jessica Tavesh today. Had a half day, was pretty good. Nice. I had like a half day too, Connor. I meant to do more work today. I meant to film, but then car. If you don't own a car, don't own one. If you can get by without it. If you live in a metro area where there's trains and buses, or you can bike or walk, just do that. Because owning a car, it's up there with one of my least favorite things. Because this is like within a 3-year span, maybe the 5th time it's broken down on us. That seems like it's more than par for course. That seems like it's fucking eagle, birdie. It's over. It's doing more than a hole in one, I guess is what I'm trying to say. This is a bad metaphor, but it's been awful. As I meant to film, I'm gonna film the YouTube short later, but I'm prepared for it. I have like an outfit and everything set over there. It's gonna be funny. I hope. I don't know. I'm not a comedian. I don't pretend to be. Diogo says hello. Hey, Art by Caleb. You. Oh, you mean Papa John's? Never. Pineapple. Never pineapple. It's funny. I grew up in Hawaii, where the Hawaiian pizza gets its name, I guess. But I never ate Hawaiian pizzas, and that would be ham and pineapple. I never had pineapple on my pizzas till recently, and I changed. I'm a different person now. I feel like a better person that I consume pineapples on my pizza. But thank you, Cabinade. I agree. Always pineapple. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's nice to have someone in my corner. Pineapple for the win. Pineapple few. Yes, thank you, Jeff, for concurring. I did tell you. But no, I'm excited for it. I cherish mono white. Any opportunity I get to work on a mono white list, I'm glad. Because it's just a fun color to work in. You get to see so many cards that you don't ever play elsewise. So it's like, mono white, this is great. I have a chance to just like use whatever's left in the sandbox that everyone else just disposed of because they've got better things to do. What's happening, Pat? I tuned in on time. Hell yes, Boulder Dash. Not much. I'm really stoked for the D&D set of Magic. Or, yeah, right? It's a D&D set? It's like there's going to be boosters? Or is it like a set of precons? I don't even know what the deal is with that, but I'm stoked for that because Justin sent me, at first, a very blurry image of what might be a card from the set, a land, but it looks like an old like module box for D&D. I'm like, that is the slickest framing for a card. Plus, they actually honored the art by having it expand across the whole card. If that's an actual card and not a mock-up, well, two things. If it's an actual card, great. If it's not, take that person's idea, Watsy, credit them, because it's genius. I think that's a great way to sell that product, and I'm extremely excited for it. It's super on theme. If you guys know what I'm talking about, if you're not on the Discord, go to latest releases. I believe it was put in that channel, and you can see the new land that came out that is themed after like a D&D module box. Okay. Frigidaire. Okay. Yeah, I finished work at 12 and decided I'm done. Yeah, I get to do that now too. The only issue is when you do that, it's hard to keep yourself accountable when you do your own thing. If you've ever wanted to be a YouTuber, it's hard to keep yourself accountable. But really, it's a fun challenge at that, so I consider it all rewarding. What's up, 99 Charles? Not much. Haya, the only meme. What's up? More hassling in his work. Pineapple on pizza give off massive blue... What? Isaiah, what the hell does that mean? It's funny. 9 out of 10 times when I play Cube, I don't pick all the filthy counter spells. But I do, maybe I pick up the bribery. Here's the thing, when I play our power cube, Justin's power cube, I do lean towards blue because the only colored power 9 is fucking blue. How about that? But no, like I see a time walk, I play a time walk and I'll build around. I'm like, yeah, do I want to, you don't even need to build around it. You're like, I'll splash this. Did I get a signet that works with it? Yeah, I'll splash this. I'm sure it's useful at some point. But I do happen to play blue out a lot outside of Commander. It's just in Commander, it's very boring for me personally. But I can understand the allure. I can see why people like playing blue. But I'm not going to agree that that's a pineapple pizza lover's favorite color because it's not. It's not at all. That's very sus, Isaiah. But I think that means you like pineapple. That's good. Just got here. Did I miss the vote? No, people are still voting. There's nothing important with this poll. But I might add something to the middle, or if like we have a big group decision to make, I'll come back over to YouTube where I can plug in this poll. I'm trying to see if I can control it via Streamlabs OBS. I don't think so. All right. It's apparently an actual card. It looks great. I love alternative styles. Me too. I think that they've been doing almost too many alternative frames. I think they're just throwing as much as they can at us to see like what is selling, what is popular, what is helping sell this product rather, because they're not making money off secondhand sales, to my knowledge. But I think this one's great. I think this one's a real hit. Okay, that's a real card. Part of the alt art for the new set. Fantastic. Congratulations, Wizards. You did it. That's a really good alternative frame. All your frames should be stylized or themed in such a way. You know, on theme is what I'm saying. Sultai. I've never had to pronounce your name, but I've read it multiple times. I'm going to call you Sel. Hey, what up, Patrick? And not much. Everything I've mentioned so far. Car broke down, ate a pizza. Not so, Frigidaire. Well, it's... What's nice about this Frigidaire that I purchased is that it's some sort of gallery model or some sort of special version of an in-window unit that's supposed to be very quiet. And it has been. I mean, you can probably pick it up subtly. But I bought it it was the most expensive one, and I sold a Lion's Eye Diamond to get it. But I bought it because I didn't want the mics to pick up a AC, and this is the world's smallest space. You guys have no idea. We're here another year, so you're going to see the space for a while, but it's the world's smallest space, and it would pick up anything to include that. Yeah, I can only do that because I got the promotion, so I have to ensure my overtime. Oh, okay, that makes sense, Connor. Pineapple on pizza is absolute chaos, so I would call it more of a red, to be honest. What's today's beverage of choice? That is a good question, Jeff. Okay, so normally, I treat myself to... I've had the tequila on the show before. The tequila... Oh my god, how did I forget the brand name? It is in the opener for Brew Wars. Espolon. Jeez Louise. Herradura today, though. Why? Because of all of the just name brand tequilas that you'll see on any shelf, they make what, in my opinion, is the best reposado to just drink neat or over ice. It is just the cleanest, nicest experience. If you're of age, enjoy it. It's definitely the one I recommend. But if I'm treating myself, it's not too much. It's like $50 or $60. It really depends on which liquor store you go to. This is great, though, for the price. $1 per quality, it's fantastic. And I've had quite a few tequilas. What do you suggest not getting salty when losing? Do you suggest not getting salty, the Wild Wookiee? I assume this is sarcasm. Have I been salty on the channel before? Is this in reference to me? Or do you just mean in general? What do I suggest drink-wise? Herradura. Anything. Take a shot of something. Lighten up. It's a game. It's a game for children, so I'm told. The YouTube Shorts attract a wider audience than what just regularly view the channel. But, yeah, lighten up. Lighten up. It's a game. It's the most popular TCG. Look at us. But it's a game nonetheless, so chill. We can all have fun and play a game together, right? Let's brew, baby. I'm with you. Okay, I'm just gonna go. Celt works. It's officially Sultai. Sultai? Pronounced Sultai. And, oh, sad. I feel special now. Yeah. I'll say Celt. We'll say Celt. Sultai. What is your favorite card just for the art alone? Oh my god, oh my god. Okay, here. End poll. Wait, there's no way to make a good poll for this. Let me test my community poll making skills. Is there a way? No, there's no good way to do this. Yes, got 83% of the votes, apparently. 85% of the votes. Look at that. Out of 63 votes. It's good. It's more than we have concurrent viewers, so I'm going to wait for those people to show back up. What is your favorite card for art alone? That is such a good question, because there's so much art I love from Magic the Gathering. Damn, I don't know. That is really tough. I mean, if I was going to just go off the top of my head... It's funny because, like, some of my favorite art is on cards that wouldn't be considered playable in CDH, so I feel like I gravitate towards the cards I play and see daily, which is weird. I'm really a fan of, like, a lot of the older... Okay, I like Gusta's Scepter a lot. I know that sounds stupid. It's a pet card of mine, but I love when I pull that off the top of my deck because I know what it can do. And it's very pleasing to play. So I feel like my perception of the art is tainted with its playability in the list I run it in, which is Teshar. I really want to get back to that. That seems like a fun topic. What is everyone's favorite art? Just the art from MTG on a card, obviously. And it could be one that was like the Grim Monolith that is exclusive to Magic Online. That's easily my favorite over the... I have a beautiful... Like, I had someone hand paint my Grim Monolith so it was full art, extended. And it's gorgeous, but I really do prefer the online promotional art. But I'd love to hear your thoughts, actually, on that. That's a really good question. No, in general. Well, the Wild Wookiee, I hope I answered that. Hey, Trent, have you ever built a deck around $50? Joe Hill, I haven't. Although we could. It's funny because I'm tracking the success of these budget videos, and I'm like, do we do more? Is this of interest to people? It's fun as a personal challenge, but like, is this of actual interest? Because I feel like there are a lot of channels that handle budget decks, whether they be competitive or not, or geared towards playing towards some line of combo. And $100 seemed to be a sweet spot for what I could personally make successful, because I did make a lot of test lists before I ever produced the budget, $100 budget, $99 budget Neheb Dreadhorde Champion list, right? So it's important that what I give you information-wise and potentially for you to make and play, it works. And it did in the recent Brew Wars. If you didn't see the $99 budget Brawl, and I can understand the confusion with the name there, not Brawl, I'm going to call it Battle the next time we do that. But I had a swell time, and Neheb fucking slayed. So, I know at least my time was well spent on that list because it definitely performed. Also, not to brag, I've played Neheb for a while, though, so I feel like I had a grip on what I was supposed to do, where, the other guys made the list, and then they've maybe had, 2+ weeks with the list to really fine-tune it and play with it, which seems like a long time, but, we all have jobs. At any rate, what's the drink of the day? No, Herradura, Trent, Herradura. I don't get paid for this, so we're going to stop plugging them. But I think we should start. Because we're 10 minutes over. The show before the show officially extended into the show, so we should probably correct that. Let's start this puppy up. God. Okay. Welcome back to the 99, where we're focused on brewing a better competitive commander. I'm your host, Patrick Marlette, and this is Brew Wars, the mixtape for our Patreon members, where I discuss their finest hit tracks. Yeah, let's go with that. So we have 2 lists we're going to be covering today, and we're probably going to go a little into overtime to make sure that we cover these thoroughly. But I'm really excited for both of these because, as I mentioned during the show before the show, mono white is one of my favorite things to do. Call me a sadist. It's just fun to play the color that's really only known for stacks and nothing else. And also just mass destruction. It just makes people salty, as one of our commenters was mentioning. But when you play mono white, yeah, some folks get salty if you play it right. That's Jeff's list. And then we also have Fabian's, whose we're starting with. And Fabian has, for us, Sultai Super Friends. And I think at this point, we'll go over to the actual web page where we'll be discussing this. But we have Sultai Super Friends to look at. And just a quick quote from Fabian on what the intended goal was for this list. Okay. Sultai Super Friends, helmed by Thrasios and Tevesh, with Teferi Chain Veil as one combo. So we've got one. And Thassa's Oracle, Jace, as another win con. There's an untapped shenanigans sub-theme that revolves around Chromatic Orrery and the 3 mana lands. Okay, so this list that you're seeing on the screen now was actually taken from a list that Fabian had made and had wanted to have looked at. I assume it gets this Super Friends sub-theme by having 8 Planeswalkers beyond Tevesh. And obviously one of them is Teferi, because it's Teferi Chain Veil. Obviously Chain Veil is okay value with Tevesh alone, but we're probably mostly in it for the Temporal Archmage, which is down here, who may also be a commander. So I think it's important that we discuss those 2 win conditions before we jump into this list, and then dissect it, take it apart, and refine it. I'll call it refining it. This was obviously built for a task or built for a specific purpose, but I'm going to probably steer towards different lines of play and adding certain utilities for draw, despite our commanders having draw. So I've given both the lists we'll be discussing today a little bit of a look over, but not that much of my time was spent in developing different play lines for these. I would like to make this au naturel for you, and also I like to discuss these with you. So let's jump in by discussing our 2 partner commanders. And I probably don't need to discuss them because you've definitely seen them on the show. But Tevesh Svat, Doom of Fools, 4 generic, 1 black, legendary planeswalker Svat. Comes in with 4 loyalty counters. Is a $10 card now. It's not bad. Has it always been around 10? I don't know. +2. Create 2 0/1 black Thrall creature tokens. Sweet. Love it. Always need more of those. And just like our best friend Oko, he has another plus ability. +1, you may sacrifice another creature or planeswalker. If you do, draw 2 cards. Then draw another card if the sacrificed permanent was a commander. Well, it's almost like they built this for a commander-specific set. Commander Legends. Love it. Thank you. -10, we're not going to talk about. If it happens, it happens, okay? Don't get giddy over it. They just didn't have their Chain of Vapor available, okay? They didn't have any hard removal for planeswalkers because no one runs it. And they certainly weren't playing a Lightning Bolt because no one plays that either. Some crazy stuff. I'm seeing more people play some of these staple cards, but it's usually like a bounce. Like when I play Tevesh and Tevesh's bounce, I have ultimated Tevesh quite a bit. Although it's really not an aim. You're really mostly there for the draw. You steal other people's commanders. Done. -10. And if Tevesh is at 10 loyalty in -10s, you put Tevesh from your command zone onto the battlefield again. Fun fact, if you haven't done that. Thrasios, Triton Hero. 2 manas, Simic, legendary creature Merfolk Wizard, 1/3 body, pay 4 generic. I'm going to say it. Scry 1, then reveal the top card of your library. If it's a land card, put it into the battlefield. It's tapped, otherwise draw a card. And oh my god, you got to play Seaborn Muse. And I got to make all this infinite mana. How do I make infinite mana? There's a Rings of Bright Hearth. There's Basalt. I think we saw some of these things. Basalt Monolith. It's not difficult. Make infinite mana. There's no Isochron Scepter, though. No Iso Dramatic Reversal. I guess no one cares about that, so there must be like a Kinnan. Yeah. Okay. So, okay. I don't know what Fabian was referring to in regards to, and I'm going to read this again, to the Chromatic Orrery or 3 mana lands. There is an untapped shenanigans sub-theme that revolves around Chromatic Orrery and 3 mana lands. So we must mean the Lotus Field, Lotus Vale, right? And then there's Chromatic Orrery, which does not go infinite with anything, to my knowledge. Like, it's not an enabler for a combo. I'm certain you can go infinite with this, with something. If you had, like, Rings of Bright Hearth, right, which is here, and Voltaic Key, right? See, this ain't gonna work, right? Is this the untapped shenanigan? Because this untaps another target artifact. If you were to pay 1 and tap it to untap another target artifact, which would be Chromatic Orrery, and then you pay for Rings of Bright Hearth with Chromatic Orrery's mana, that's 5. It's 3 total. I'm not calling you a loser. I'm saying you've got 2 mana left. And then you could functionally untap both, right? So you untap the Chromatic Orrery and Manifold Key if it was a Voltaic Key. So maybe we switch this for Voltaic Key? I don't know. Maybe are you guys seeing something I'm not? Obviously, we should probably look at the deck. Let's go ahead and go to the live edit, but I'll catch up with you guys. Those are the legendaries. This is Sultai Super Friends, and I think that it's going to be more like Sultai Super Friend in a second, because I've got some ideas for this that I did hatch up prior to the stream, and I just need to research the blue cards to get us there. But the first thing I want to do is just look over the synergies here, and then obviously we can work out how this list should function. I guess I should discuss the other combo that was there. So obviously, the Basalt Monolith thing, if Kinnan's on the battlefield, or you have Rings of Bright Hearth, you can make infinite generic with this, and that gives you mana for Thrasios. Do I need to say anything else? You draw your deck. You draw your deck. Okay. So there's that, and then obviously Kinnan's over here as well. Kinnan makes it that whenever you tap an on-land permanent for mana, add 1 mana of any type that permanent could produce. Cool. All right, so we got that down. Trophy Mage, obviously, for the Basalt Monolith, and Rings of Bright Hearth. And Chain Veil, is there a creature to find Chain Veil? Maybe we put that in here. Is it Trinket Mage? It's not Trinket Mage. Okay. Do we have like land destruction, or are we just getting value out of our fetch lands, perhaps, with the Bremen Excavator? So the first thing I noticed is that there's no Mystic or Ristic here, and we could genuinely use them. I don't really care who's in the command zone. It's always good to have additional draw. And the Beast Within feels a little... I'm going to take that out right now. It feels a little odd. We're in 3 colors. I feel like we can utilize a different form of removal. This hits anything, but you can also use Abrupt Decay, which isn't here. I know Assassin's Trophy like has replaced Abrupt Decay is like the go-to Golgari removal spell, but Abrupt Decay is still extremely good. Extremely, extremely good. So I want to add that. And these are a lot of Planeswalkers, and we can cover them in a second. Okay, I'm going to catch up with you guys. I partnered Tavesh with Ravos. Same. I heard Thrasios is a sleeper up and coming card. Oh. Thrasios murdered my family. Would you rather win ASAP or have a game over a number of turns so you can have an actual game of interaction? I think that a majority of people, Michael Sitko, believe that CDH is all about, it's just like Sonic. It's all about speed. It's all about going fast. Eating chili cheese dogs, winning games before turn 3, and everyone just having a big old circle jerk. Like, everyone's just reaching over and fucking jerking their friends off and winning games really quickly. That's not what CDH is. I can always pick apart who actually plays CDH from how they discuss CDH. No, I would rather that people play the most competent list they can and have the best threat assessment possible at any given table. I would rather play people where, like, those are the interactions I'm concerned with. Like, so maybe the game goes on 15 minutes and it's nothing really happens and it's really just people checking each other. That's fine. Like, that kind of intimacy, that's what makes the game fun. When people are involved in the minute, like, spell casting plays being made. Like, that's fun about CDH. It's not all about fucking going fast. But sure, you know, games can go fast, and that's cool too. I mean, I designed one deck to go fast, because sometimes I sit at a pod where people think that's what the game should be, and I'm like, okay, I'll go fast. We'll go fast. Partnered Timna and Sidar for the best results. Before we continue, this is obviously, the Brewmaster segment, if you don't know, is strictly for our Patreon members, but the general cold brew, I do take suggestions on. I'm not going to take every suggestion, but if there's a list you'd like to see done, feel free to leave it in the comment section after this. Okay. What does Super Friends mean? Cheeto Fingers. I forget. I think I spoke with Fabian on this, but it's specifically about the Planeswalkers. Michael Sitko answered that. A deck with a lot of Planeswalkers. Yes. Okay. I have Eska's Super Friends. Wow, that is a lot. Here's my version. Is Dothy Voidwalker worth using? No, bro. With all of the smart questions. Always. Dothy Voidwalker. Did you watch the live stream review? Great time. I had a great time. I hope you guys did. Whomever was there with me. Dothy Voidwalker is always worth using. Yes. Yes. Amen to the last one. 4 lands. I don't need a list for Timna and Sidar. Okay. Personal conversations happening over top of this very important Brewmaster segment. We're going to mix this track, make it perfect. We're going to take out Yawgmoth's Will. This. I'm just going through. If you want me to explain why, I can. It's interesting. I can see maybe why we're off ad nauseum because all of these friends. Oh, man, I don't want to be a dick. Okay. Here's my vision for this list. Okay, so the 2 combos. Teferi Chainveil, Thassa's Oracle, Demonic Consultation. Jace, to be perfectly honest with you, don't really need. It's a Super Friends list. I'm going to change the name to Super Friend after this, because I think the best approach, that the one I want to use, is going to be using a card, and I got to find it. I think there's like 1 in blue. Reweave? I think it's Reweave. This. Okay. And maybe there's another one. I don't know. The combo is very expensive. If you've never done Teferi Chain Veil is 4 to cast, 4 to activate. Teferi, oodles of mana. I think he's 5? 6. Motherfucker, 6. Okay, so there's a lot of hand waving when it comes to explaining this combo with most groups because you just want to assume that person's won so you can move on to the next game, and that's fine. But basically, with Teferi and Chain Veil out, you can untap Chain Veil with all of your mana rocks and go mana positive. If Teferi's the dude in the command zone, the thing is, you need to outpace the commander tax. So with whatever you're doing, you want to make certain that Chain Veil is giving you enough activations to outpace the mana cost while simultaneously giving you the opportunity to activate Teferi multiple times. So the math is really fuzzy with me on this because, trust me, I've never played Teferi Chain Veil. I've certainly seen it played. It's okay. Teferi by himself, probably not the best mono blue commander. Arguably Urza. But fine in this list. If he's going to be our super friend and we want to play for this combo, then I kind of just want to make Teferi the only combo piece that's a Planeswalker. So like Jace can go, I hate... yeah, you're going to hate me. I'm sorry. You're going to hate me, Fabian. But this is how I would do this. And you asked. You did ask. Because if we have Chain Veil out, I don't want to putz around giving people the opportunity to just destroy Chain Veil. It's not very good by itself, and maybe you manipulate it with Tevesh to do some super cool stuff, like draw more cards and make more thralls, and that's fine. But it's extremely expensive setup. It's 4 to cast and 4 to activate. Again, you need a lot of mana going on the battlefield, excuse me. And we don't have that many mana rocks. Like we could use a Mox Diamond and a few other utilities, which we'll go over in a second. But it's good to have like the things like the Manifold Key, the Voltaic Key, to continuously use our Mana Vault, our Grim Monolith, so on and so forth, to pump into Chain Veil and give us excess mana to do the Chain Veil Teferi trick. So Reweave, why I want to do it this way instead, is because Reweave is instant speed. So it's a lot of mana, but people cast Peer into the Abyss, which was in this list, as well as Ad Nauseam, for 1 less and or more on the Peer into the Abyss. Peer into the Abyss is 8, if I'm not mistaken. Target permanent controller sacrifices it. That player reveals cards from the top of his or her library until he or she reveals a card that shares a card type with the sacrificed permanent. The player puts that card into play, then shuffles their library. So you splice this onto Arcane. Never going to happen. It could. Never. Instant speed, though. So more importantly, we can cheat out Teferi by reweaving Tevesh into Teferi. Like, that was... I'm addicted to the polymorph / reality scramble effects. We're not in red, but that's essentially what we're trying to do here. Reality scramble being a little bit better, but at sorcery speed. So cost less, does effectively the same thing. But reweave at instant speed, this is going to be phenomenal for us. Like this, and this is why I say super friend. I think that's the route we should go. So I'm actually taking out all the other planeswalkers. We just have one friend who's a planeswalker. And that's okay, because he helps us win the game. We don't need... If we're going to go for Kinnan, right? If Kinnan is like and there's no other dorks, which is interesting. I don't think I saw Eldritch Evolution or Neoform or anything like that. If we're going to use... I would rather us focus on combos that are easier to accomplish, right? So like Kinnan, infinite mana. We can make infinite mana with Kinnan in this Basalt Monolith. Right? You tap it for 4, you untap it for 3. Like, I'd rather focus on that with Thrasios and draw my deck, play out some fast mana, and do the trick with Thassa's Oracle, right? I would rather do that. That just seems more effective. And I know I'm keeping a friend in to keep the Super Friends theme alive, but it's just a Super Friend. And that gives us more room for more counterspells, because we are kind of limited on our interaction here, and there's a handful of things I definitely want. Like, I would love a Swan Song. I would love a Dispel. There's a couple of counterspells that I think would be very good in here and could slot very easily in here. And, taking away the number of planeswalkers gives us more interaction, because I feel like the way this list is going to behave, if we're trying to prioritize combo pieces that are not a part of the command zone, it's going to require more effort on our part. Just to help logic this out for people watching. I think Peer into the Abyss is cute. Probably don't need it. I'm assuming there's a Hull Breacher, right? I didn't really look. Yeah, okay. Anyway. Back with you all. I know I talked a lot. Okay. I too felt the pain of cutting Lab Jace when I no longer needed him. It's just like, it's not needed. It's not needed. And like, if you, and most of the lists that incorporate Thassa's Oracle are at least using black, right? They're Dimir or Grixis or 4-color, 5-color. So you have Praetor's Grasp. Like, you're going to steal someone else's shit, or you just lean on Underworld Breach to do a trick. Get Thassa's Oracle back. So it's like, and I've seen some stuff where you can like Hermit Druid it out, and that way you're kind of screwed, or like Leveler your Thassa's Oracle out, and that way you're kind of screwed. But for the most part, you can sort of manipulate your opponent's decks to do the same thing. So, I don't know. Prime Shifter Chainveil, would Teferi Master of Time do anything for this list? Who's partnered with Tev? I missed the beginning. Thrasios, he's right there. Makes sense. Only one friendo, just like real life. I'm sorry, JZ. Hey Patrick, just joined the Patreon. Bobby Z, I've been meaning to for a while and have just been busy and kept forgetting. Did you just like, if I check my emails, because I normally send a letter out to you guys. Thank you, Bobby, for joining the Patreon. Feel free to participate in any of the Patreon exclusive benefits. I appreciate your support here. Really do. Helps me buy the Papa John's. Should we rename this Sultai Best Friends then? Or Sultai Best Friend? Sultai Only Friend. Sultai Only Friend. Didn't see if there were wheels in the list, but I'd keep Narset if there are. Yeah, me versus... Yeah, I feel like because we're in Sultai, like, we have access to green, and we have some of the best creature tutors in the game. And I don't see any. So I really want to add some creature tutors. Like, I don't think Court of Calling has a place the way this is structured. Like, if we added more dorks, maybe Court of Calling is a feasible playline, right? And then we can sort of flash out Hull Breacher that way over someone else's wheel. But we do have Time Twister and we do have Windfall, which is, a wheel enough for us. But I do think a Finale of Devastation would be great here. Because Kinnan Bonder Prodigy is green, I honestly feel like Green Sun Zenith is great here. There's a lot of tutors that are going to be very effective here that we can slot into the list. Again, I just want to leave it at Teferi so that we can put in Reweave. It's the first thing we're going to do so far as adding to this list, because I think that is a cool way to cheat into your Teferi combo. Elsewise, Teferi is just a cute untapper, but honestly really decent for the list regardless. Like, this is okay. If we add more mana rocks, I want to do that. I think you can make a case for Isochron Scepter Dramatic Reversal, so maybe we also incorporate that. But if we just fast track either Kinnan Basalt Monolith and or just manually cast Thassa's Oracle, she's right there, Thassa's Oracle as well as Demonic Consultation, or at least Tainted Pack, right? So, get rid of that. We're going to narrow this down. We'll add another land, or we're at 29 lands. We're going to keep it at 29. We're reducing the curve a lot. I also think that you could probably run ad nauseum here the way we're shaping this. And I know that this might start to look like many another list, but I do want to keep the Teferi setup alive. So we'll at least do that. So I think sorcery-wise, I'm happy with these cuts. I think that 3 visits, Nature's Lore, they're fine. There is one more that I want to add. Oh my god, we talked about it recently in a Hidden Gems video. The green one. The green and blue one that we should add as well. You play an additional land, draw a card. It's not necessary. I feel like it really depends on what we have color-wise for this list to say whether these are worth it. Because it's interesting to run Nature's Lore 3 visits over what people more naturally lean towards, which are our dorks. So we could probably add the dorks in as well. Kind of want to add the dorks in over this because I intend to use Eldritch Evolution in Neo form. Because even if you just do Dryad Arbor, maybe that's our 30th land right there then. So even if you do Dryad Arbor and you Neo form Dryad Arbor, or rather Eldritch Evolution, Dryad Arbor, you can get Kinnan out very quickly, right? So one of our fetch lands can very quickly behave as a way to get Kinnan on the field. And I want that. I really want to get Kinnan out. Ponder, Reanimate, these all seem fine. Reanimate's good value elsewise. Instant speed spells, all the free counters are there, so I think we're good. Narcissus Reversal's good. Mission Briefing, I'm a little iffy on, but we'll keep it for now. Again, I want to add Abrupt Decay. Brainstorm's great. Crop Rotation's great. Calling the Weak It's interesting because we don't even have that many creatures, but I think we will. So Culling the Week is going to be good. Definitely a Dark Ritual. I might even do Dark Ritual before I did Culling the Week, but we're going to run both anyways. Nature's Claim is fine. I'm a personal fan of Natural State. It's hit everything I've ever wanted it to. But if you want to run Nature's Claim, that's fine. You know, give that Ad Nos player more gas. Noxus Revival, fantastic. All these are great. All these are great. Again, Mystic Ristic, I'm going to slam here. I don't think Necropotence is necessary, but I will do Mystic and Ristic. Utopia Sprawl is odd over Wild Growth, although Wild Growth is restricted by the mana it can generate. I mean, you know, forest-wise, what we have: Temple Garden, Savannah, and what are the green, blue? Wait a minute. Breeding Pool. What's Breeding Pool and Trop Island, right? It's 4 targets. Prismatic Vista in here. Prismatic Vista, and we got a forest up here, right? Okay. That's fine. Definitely a few things to add. The Trinket Mage is interesting. Cost 1 or less. Cost 1 or less. And we kind of just want to go for our Mana Vault when we're doing the Teferi trick. That sort of helps. I feel like Spellseeker could be used too. Yeah, Dryad of the Ilsean Grove I'm not high on. I think if you have all the fetch lands and all the dual lands, like which it seems like we do, right? You can get away without having to mana fix by using sort of like recursion pieces like that. Is Crucible of Worlds in here too? We can probably avoid that. I think that we can sort of skirt past the need to reacquire our fetch lands to play out dual lands. And we had enough lands as it was. Like 30 lands was more than enough, I think, for the average list. And I think that Dryad Arbor making this 30 is going to be fine. We should just leave it at that. Chromatic Lantern. It's interesting. I don't think we need this much color fixing, but with our boy Teferi, we do want X amount of rocks. I think I would rather go for the talismans before I went for the signets, before I went for Chromatic Lantern. So I think we're going to do that. Chromatic Ori is clearly in here for some sort of combo that I don't see. I'm trying to think of like another thing that you can Rings of Brighthearth. Like Kyora's Follower is another permanent, right? So I'm trying to think of like a 1-2 punch to make infinite mana with Chromatic Orrery. Although it might be excessive, especially if we add Ad Nauseam, but I don't think we are. You all tell me? I don't know. Am I missing the combo for Chromatic Orrery? What is a combo you would use for Chromatic Orrery? Here's where we do the poll. Let's do the poll. Okay. Do we keep Orrery? Remove Orrery. Don't answer yet. There we go. And I don't even know if I spelled it right, but it's there for you. I'm going to check back in with that poll at 5:40. How am I looping with Teferi without him being your general? Basically, with excess enough mana, you can use Teferi to also +1 on the ability. It's weird. It's weird. I know. But you need to make... Because you're going to go +1, -1. I've only ever seen it done with him in the command zone. So let's hash that out. But yeah, the poll is there. The poll is there. Okay, so if we... Let's just pretend that a perfect world, Teferi is down as well as Chain Veil. Because if we're not doing that, I would rather reweave Tevesh into Jace and just have that as a redundancy, and that feels fine. And then we can add Demonic Consultation, Tainted Pack, and this is going to feel like a lot of other lists. But I'm trying to trim this so that it's a super friendo list. So let's try it. Let's try it. Maybe someone answered it for me. That would save me so much trouble. He doesn't have to die because you can plus him and use the ability after you've made infinite plus. Oh, yeah. So we really do want to make infinite mana for this to work. Maybe that's why we have the Chromatic Orrery, right? Because this is going to pay for the total cost of Chain Veil +1. Oh, my God. So let me see here. Teferi untap up to 4 target permanents. Why Teferi is good with this combo and why we have the Lotus lands is that they tap for 3. There's also another land that taps for 3 generic that I'm not seeing. Maybe we add that because that's cute. Again, 540, I'll check back in with the poll there. What is the symbol for generic? Is it simple? No. No. There's no good way to do this, is there? Bastards. Let's just do that. Oh my god, we're gonna get so many. We're gonna get so many. Is Orrery there for Teferi Veil mana? That's what I'm thinking at this point. Chromatic Orrery draw. You can infinite mana with Teferi going to the graveyard. Does Teferi only work if he's in the command zone? I don't think so. But let's go ahead and do this. I just want to see what that land is. Oh my god. Alright, gang. I need your help. What is the land that makes 3 generic? It makes 3 generic, and you have to get rid of... I know the art. Funnily enough, I know the art, but I don't know the name of the land. Makes 3 generic. I think you also need to sacrifice a land for it. I'm going to recognize the art, and it's going to hit me. Or someone can simply tell me. Does Teferi only work if he's in... Nope. Well, it goes infinite with infinite mana, and then you can draw your deck and have infinite mana to play with. Yeah. So, it's funny, because, like, we have Thrasios in the command zone. So it's almost like a redundancy we don't necessarily need, unless someone has, like, a Dranith Magistrate, and then we reweave Tevesh to put Teferi. It's a very niche scenario where Teferi feels necessary, but I can understand the desire to want a Teferi Chainveil, so we're going to do that. Oh, God. Lotus Field. No. It taps for 3 generic. Is it... Do these tap for generic? No. Hold up. 3 mana of any one color. There's one that taps for 3 generic. Or 4 generic. I might even be... am I going crazy? There is a land that does this. And I sold it recently. I'm sure to... regrettably, I'm certain. Because it's an old land. No, it's none of those. It's none of those. I promise. There's a land that taps for multiple generic. More than City of Traders. More than Ancient Tomb. It's going to blow your mind when I find it, guys. I'm going to be like, oh my god, Pat just discovered the secret of all secrets. And no one's ever going to play it because it's not worthwhile. Scorched Ruins! Scorched Ruins! Hama Himana. Scorched Ruins. Well, we're going to be here all day, but you just saved the day, man. Sacrifice 2 untapped lands you control. That's right, it's 4. It's 4. Add 4 colorless mana to your mana pool. You've never seen shit like that. And like oh, damn it. I sold it a while back for like $10. Of course it's $70+ now. Jesus. I'm like, I'm never going to use this shit. I'm never going to use this. And of course. But yeah, it exists. It's a land that taps for 4 generic. That would clearly work with Teferi Chainveil, because Sunscorched Ruins would pay for the damn Chainveil. I think the trick is having the Manifold key or a Voltaic key to tap one of your, to untap one of your larger mana rocks like Grim Monolith Mana Vault. Thank you, Hama. Mishra's Workshop is 4. No, Scorched Ruins. We got it. Here's what we're going to do. We are going to do this as the Super Friendo list, and you can follow along. We're going to do this as the Super Friend list. And if Teferi doesn't work, then we just straight up ditch him. But I want to learn in the moment. I want you all to see the look of failure in my eyes if it does fail. Because again, I've actually never seen it done without Teferi in the command zone, so I thought this was interesting. All right, Dryad Arbor. We want Eldritch Evolution. We want Neoform. Neoform. We also wanted, did I say Spellseeker? Demonic Consultation. We can also do for a Mox Diamond. We can also do a Mox Opal. We could probably get away with a Mox Amber here. I want all of the rocks. Like, I want every single rock. Obviously, the ones that go mana positive are great. I mean, the ones that do 2 or more are best. But we already have those. I'm gonna add... We're gonna add Ad Nauseam. Sorry, it had to happen. All right. I'm gonna add Voltaic Key. Let's save this out and continue. Oh, hey, poll. We're still doing a poll. Dryad Arbor. Maybe if I spelt it right. Okay. Poll time. Where are we with Chromatic Orrery? Because I will remove it right now. Ending poll. All right, gang. What happened? What's the verdict? Tell me, YouTube. Taking your sweet ass time here. 57% to 42% say we remove the Chromatic Orrery. That is really close. You guys. I'm surprised. Jeweled Lotus. Maybe this list was constructed because this is a copy and paste list, but I don't remember seeing Jeweled Lotus, so probably want to add that, if only for Tevesh, and trust me, Tevesh, worth it. Also, since we're playing Tevesh, I feel like a Gilded Drake is never a bad idea. A Swan Song, like I mentioned earlier, a Dispel, like I mentioned earlier. Dispel, Spell Snare. You like Spell Snare? I bet you do. You sick fucker, I bet you do. We're also going to add a... Did I see Mental Misstep? I do not see a Mental Misstep. Okay. We're going to add Mental Misstep. Save and continue. And Kamal's Druidic Vow is pretty good in this too. Kamal's Druidic Vow, you say? I'll take your word there. We can look at it in a second though. How about that? Okay, gang. Let's give this a once over again, and you can tell me if I forgot anything. I think I meant to put in Green Sun Zenith and Finale of Devastation, and I probably did not. It's interesting that Birds of Paradise is the only mana dork. I understand why. I understand why more if you have Kinnan, if you're playing like a dedicated Kinnan list and you play Freed from the Real as one of your gotta add those enchantments. If you played Freed from the Real and Kinnan, then anything that produces blue mana will make infinite mana, right? So then you have Birds of Paradise as your dork, right? Because it adds 1 mana of any color. With Freed from the Real, you produce a blue, then you produce another color that it could produce, just whatever the color you need is. And in this instance, with Freed from the Real and Kinnan, you just make infinite mana. If you've ever seen Kinnan played out, this is just one of Kinnan's shenanigans. This is also why Trinket Mage is here for the Basalt Monolith. Okay, very obvious stuff. Sylvan Caryatid. I don't think the Sylvan... I didn't even notice it there. I don't think we need it, though. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not really a huge fan of Snapcaster Mage anymore, either. I would actually much prefer that we went with a heavier lean on the artifacts. Heavier lean in on our artifacts because we're using Chainveil to vary as a main play line. So Talismans, Mystic Ristic, maybe Dorks. This is weird. It's weird not having dorks, but if we're leaning on the artifacts, then we're leaning on the artifacts, and that's fine, because we can do that too. Tail's End I'm going to keep because this is clearly here by choice. Like, I don't mind countering targeted, activated, or triggered abilities, rather. Like, I actually like seeing someone prioritize that. That's nice. And I want to add Abrupt Decay. Okay, so Abrupt Decay, Mystic, Ristic, so many cards. Finale of Devastation. I know. Okay, Green Sun Zenith. I'm going to remember. Let's see. Did I remember? Did Pat remember? Ristic Study. Spell it right this time. Ristic Study. Mystic Remora. Green Sun Zenith. Finale of Devastation. Chord of Calling's not so good when you don't have creatures, although Tevesh is making thralls. Bear that in mind. Okay, hold up. There was another card. Abrupt Decay. That's a lot of interaction. We do have a lot of draw, though. So this puts us maybe at like 98 or 99 cards. 99. Okay. Yes, I believe so. Blue, he does go infinite with Tevesh afterwards. So infinite with Teferi not in the command zone. We need to be able to blink recur him. Is this a fact, Carl? Is this a fact? Just say yay. Yes or no. Say yes, it's a fact. Cabanade. It would have to make 9+ mana with only 3 rocks, right? That's a lot. Well, no, it doesn't need to be rocks. It can be our lands too, right? That's why we have the Lotus Veils. Because Teferi untaps permanents. Let's just look at Teferi again. This is an interesting riddle to solve. Untap up to 4 target permanents. So bear in mind that we can also untap our lands. Nissa Worldwaker goes infinite with 4 Forest and Veil. Was Nissa here? Oh my god. Do we play the infinitely better Nissa? I don't know if you guys play Cube or like Power Cube or anything like that. Justin has the one you're talking about. This one, the Worldwaker. She's fucking absurd. Can be. No, this is the one I'm thinking about. Which one are you referring to now? Wait up. Nissa Worldwaker. Target land you control becomes a 4/4 creature. Untap up to 4 target forest. I don't think we're... Well, it's funny because we had the sorceries to find the forest, but Nissa wasn't here. Nissa never showed. I don't know if we're going to get there with the forest. We could use the new Yavimaya land to make everything a forest, right? And then you would have the combo there. It's not like we don't have crop rotation here, right? So that could be a thing. You think Tezzeret works better as an infinite combo as opposed to search your library for an artifact, convert a mana cost X, and put it on the battlefield? I like Tezzeret just as a reweave target to hit your Basalt Monolith when Kinnon's down. Right? That seems better. Kind of. Is that what we mean? Not needed, actually. You need to activate Chain Veil 3 times, then play Tevesh to go up to 10 and ultimate him and make infinite tokens, then loop Tevesh to sack the tokens and draw the deck. Did y'all catch that? Hold up. Activate Chain Veil 3 times. I've actually never fooled with Chain Veil and Tevesh. But you do Chain Veil 3 times. You go, well, you need... So you do the 1+2 on Tevesh to 6. If Chain Veil is activated 3 times in a singular turn, because Chain Veil stacks, if you guys don't know, it is till the end of turn you can activate your Planeswalkers in excess of their normal count as many times as Chain Veil was activated, is what Diogo's saying here, right? So you get it up to 6, 8, 10, -10, get Tevesh back. That's actually a really cool idea. That's actually a really, really cool idea. So if you get Tevesh up to, well, I don't know if you draw the deck that way, do you? Because you would need to have more activations on Chain Veil. Am I mistaken? It seems so hard to Teferi when you need key for combo. I see Force of Negation, but better to play Force of Will in for that. I think that Force of Negation and Force of Will are here. It's just down here. Teferi ticks down, so it's not infinite. You need to tick it up during. Tezzeret does work better than Teferi. However, you need Teferi, Chain Veil, Karth the Lion. Is that a fact? New Yavimaya Arbor Elf Gaia's Cradle mini combo? Maybe. Because Nissa doesn't loop with Chain Veil, you need to tap Veil and Nissa down to untap. Okay. Okay, guys. I see what you're saying. The Teferi combo is going to be difficult without him in the command zone. Teferi, Tezzeret, Veil. Do we mean for Tezzeret to get Chain Veil? Hold up. Okay, so if Master Teferi is only there to get, if Teferi is only there to get excess mana and untap and use Chain Veil the 3 times, then we could just win with Tevesh after the fact. You know, like Diogo's saying, it's not the worst thing in the world. You can still do the Tevesh thing with Tezzy. Do just use Professor Onyx and Smog. I know. But no, we're not. We can't do that. We can't do that. That's too simple. That's too easy. We need to add Reweave, though, and that'll be the last card. Okay. This turned into Sultai Super Friend. I'm sorry. Wow. The combo is kind of difficult to reach. And this isn't even putting... I feel like there could definitely be more tinkering to be had here. Having altered this to Sultai Super Friend seems a little sad. I'm just going to play it as is. Let's just see how it performs, okay? We had a good powwow there. I'm happy we all spoke. Holy shit, there's a wasteland. Wasn't expecting that. We're going to get a new hand. Yes, I'll keep this. Okay, so we'll do Ancient Tomb into Jeweled Lotus into Tevesh. Bam. Cool. I'm going to make some tokens. I'm going to make some Thrall. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, love it. Next turn. Well, thank God we have our Bayou in hand, right? We also have a fetch land, I guess. And a Dryad Arbor, I guess. But this hand enters the battlefield. You must sacrifice 2 lands. Okay. Making me work over here. I guess we'll do a Utopia Sprawl onto this Bayou. If we're being logical here, I mean, I think we probably want to crack the fetch just to get that out of the way. All right, let's get the Trop Island and confuse our opponents. Make them think that we have a blue spell, right? And then we do this with the Utopia Sprawl. How about them apples? Shuffle the shit, eat a thing, draw 2 cards, and then we pass with nothing to do with Ancient Tomb. But we have a Gilded Drake. And thank God, by turn 2, turn 3, our opponents should have one of their commanders out at this point, right? So we're back up to 8 cards. Feels good. Those early turn Teveshes seem pretty good, don't they? We have a Vampiric Tutor. Okay, so we have a lot of things going for us here. Doesn't seem that way. Also, playing Utopia Sprawl onto the Trop Island when we really want to... We're desperate for that Lotus Field. Feels weird, right? I'm trying to aim for... Logically, I think Spellseeker into Ad Nauseam and, like, getting the mana for it is the thing to do. Obviously, this enters tapped, so it's, like, not going to be a great utility for us. Lake of the Dead doesn't have a swamp to hit yet. We do have the Bayou, so we can set up for a decent Ad Nauseam. And maybe that's what we do. But I'll imagine that people are attacking into Tevesh and not my life total, because that's usually what happens. But I do think the thing to do here would just be to drop the Gilded Drake, swap this out for someone else's commander, and we can just leave that in exile. They can keep the Gilded Drake, that's fine. Plussing Tevesh to eat their commander, drawing through the deck. A lot of fucking fetch lands. All right, we're going to drop some of these fetch lands. To be perfectly honest with you, I don't think I need the Lotus Field, and I would rather keep the land that finds 2 of my colors over just the 1. And pass, and pass. Again, it feels weird. Now, we could have put down Spellseeker there. We were not holding any interaction, and reasonably that wouldn't be bad, but doing a Vampiric Tutor into Ad Nauseam here is not bad. I'm going for the approach that just makes sense to me. I know this isn't like leaning on the Reweave. We could do Spellseeker and a Reweave and then do Reweave and yada yada, but having Ad Nauseam is just going to give us more mana, more solutions to do the thing on turn. But put this on top, sure. Next turn. Bam. Tap. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I forgot. You're a fucking... This isn't a... We're not going to have black mana to do shit. So we're going to have to wait. Don't do what I did. Pretend like you didn't just put Ad Nauseam on top of your deck, because this is going to have to sacrifice a swamp and then sacrifice another swamp from our list. Thank God we have this Misty Rainforest. But this is not the way you want to play this deck. You're seeing the most suboptimal plays from me today. You're welcome. I hope you enjoy that. What is the Underground Sea for 500? Right? We'll put that on the battlefield. Sure, that's a swamp. Hope no one uses their own wheel. I'm sure that there's been a better way to sequence this, but just go with me here. Let's go ahead and cast Thrasios. Cast Thrasios? No, we don't do that. Cast Thrasios and Passios. We'll do Ancient Tomb, Spellseeker. We're going to find the Force of Will. Yeah, why not? Because I need protection for that sweet, sweet Ad Nauseam, and I got this Windfall that's burning a hole in my hand. Are we going to eat a Thrall? No, we're going to make more Thrall. Let's just pretend that someone attacked into Devesh, because again, that's what you do. And we used a Thrall to block. Cool. All right, we'll pass. We've got Abrupt Decay mana floating. Do we use it off turn? Hell yes. Abrupt Decay. Thank you. Bam. Blasted that thing. It was an Underworld breach. Can you stop it? No, you can't. Okay, moving on. Next turn. Do we win the game here? Let's try. We're going to go Underworld Breach for Underground Sea for a black. We're going to do Lake of the Dead. Underground Sea goes bye-bye. Crazy, we're using Lake of the Dead to destroy very expensive lands, but we're going to cast Ad Nauseam. Oh my god. We're going to cast Ad Nauseam by tapping. Oh my gosh, wait, was there a better way? Was there a better way? No, there's not, because I still have mana for Mana Drain and Force of Will. Am I right? I don't care. We've got 2 generic floating, and we've got 2 black floating. We're going to sacrifice this, because we're going balls to the wall here, gang. I'm sorry, I know you're commenting and trying to get my attention. You're like, Pat, you should have done this differently. No, it's too late. It's too late, damn it. We're going to use 2 black, 2 generic, 1 more black. Ad Nauseam on the stack, is that okay? Check it out. I got a Mana Drain in hand. Oh, I'm tapped out? Oh, check it out. I got this. Let me exile this, lose some life. I should probably track my life. Let's just say that I'm down to 34. I feel comfortable with that. Force of Will. Bam. Bam. Damn it, you guys try to stop me. I'm playing blue now. Shit, I got a Dryad Arbor in hand. Let's hope I pull my Mox Diamond. All right, Ad Nauseam on the stack. Did it resolve? Yes, it did. We're going down 1, 4, 6. Oh my god, it's Scorched Ruins. 6, 8. Oh my... 14. We're down to 20. We got Teferi, though. It's one part of our combo. Hang out. Hang with me. Hang with me now. Hang with me. We got this. 3 mana. 5... 6, 7, 8. It's gonna work. It's gonna work. 9, 10, 11, 14, 16, 17, 18, 20. Okay. Wait. Oh, did I just go? Sorry. We're not grabbing the ponder. We're not grabbing the ponder. Wait, no. It was the next card that would have fucked me over, right? Yeah, I didn't grab the Demonic Tutor. We just went down to 18. Whew. Not that I knew. Not that I knew about that. But we're going to do that. Sure. Just don't mind the fuck up in the room. That never happened. We're going to put down a Lotus Petal. Cool. We're going to put down a Chrome Mox. What has the most colors? Neoform. Wait. Fuck Neoform, man. Who plays Neoform? I'm just kidding. It's actually good. Yeah, we're getting rid of Neoform. I'm like, is it less? Because Eldritch Evolution is less, and Eldritch Evolution is better. Here, I'm going to check in with you guys. Karth goes into Essica. Ecological Appreciation might be a decent card to help grab strong creatures like getting Gilded. Your mana dorks to go infinite. Spellseeker, Trophy Mage, Tribute Mage. That all sounds really good. Fabian says Karth... Fabian! Were you here the whole time? Welcome. I ruined your list, and I'm sorry. Well, we're getting there. It's turn 5. We're getting there. Trust me. It's gonna happen. Karth goes and asks, good way to get you. You forgot and went right into gameplay. No, I didn't forget. I do want to get to Jeff's list, is what I'm trying to do. Find a force of will with Spellseeker. Oh, shit. I did that without even confirming with you. Yo, swapping Thrasius with Kydel might actually be pretty spicy because she might help with Teferi mana. Kydel is also Simic, right? Yeah. Right? Okay. That's actually a cool idea with... All right, Fabian. Okay, so this is Fabian. This is the Fabian. We've been talking horrible things about you behind your back, but you're here now, so don't rewind the video. Welcome. This is Sultai Super Friend, because I wanted to work in a reweave strategy with Tevesh, who I turned 1 in this game. But, you know, not everything goes according to plan, and, you know, we didn't necessarily go that route. But we are not reweaving Tevesh this game because I just happened to ad nauseum into Teferi, which was not a part of the deck's original design, nor was it a Super Friendo list as opposed to a Super Friends list. But we changed some things because this is how I would want to take it, I guess, if I was playing Sultai. This is difficult because I knew that there was a demonic tutor on top of our deck here. And I have a demonic consultation in my hand, so boy. But we only have 2 life, so let's try to keep it kosher and not die. Do I have any more fast mana? I don't think so, other than obviously this guy right here. We got a soul ring, so we're gonna do that. Okay, so we've got 3 black floating, if I'm not mistaken from earlier. We're gonna have 3 generic floating. Let's just tap the soul ring now because we're that confident. I don't think we need the color fixing with the arcane signet. I think we can go balls to the wall, win the game right now. Let's see if I'm lying to you. Trying to find the cleanest possible play line here. Because this can find our Basalt Monolith. We can make infinite mana. I'm trying to think if we can get into Kinnan, which would be really cute. If we can go into Kinnan and do... but see, if we draw our deck... The ultimate goal would be to use Kinnan / Basalt Monolith to draw the deck with Thrasios and then just cast Thassa's Oracle, right? Because I don't see a tutor here. This is kind of a tutor, but we can fuck ourselves over with that. Hold up. We do have the Narset's Reversal, so we can copy this if we want and do it twice. So if we did Narset's Reversal, our own Demonic Consultation, naming Thassa's Oracle, find Thassa's Oracle, then cast Demonic Consultation again. That's 1 black, 2 blue. Thassa's Oracle's 1 generic and 1 blue, I forget, and then double blue. Do we have mana for that? I don't think so. Because that's 3 black, 3 generic. This is 1 blue, that's 2 blue. That's not enough blue, folk. That's not enough blue. Am I wrong about Thassa's Oracle? That seems like the funnest way to win at this point. Am I wrong? We're assuming no one has anything at this point because I did just blow 2 count. It's double blue. Fuck you. Why are you gonna be so difficult to cast Thassa's Oracle? Why does blue have to get the most difficult win cons? Why can't they make blue easier to play? Worked up till now. Okay. Karth, Teferi, Chainveil. Is that what we want to go for? Bop, Neoform for Oracle. Oh, you smart person. Do you play Thassa's Oracle? No. But you're right. We did not. We did not dump. Ignore that I put Neoform under Chrome Mox. You're absolutely right. We're going to use Lotus Petal, Birds of Paradise, okay? Green. Then we're going to Neoform. Wait. Oh, no. Oh, no. We need mana for the boom. There we go. Bam. Then we're going to use green, blue, Neoform. Neoform Thassa's Oracle. See, this is a person that does play blue. And we're going to sacrifice this. We're going to use one of the black we have floating. I guess we can be cheeky and use Demonic Consultation to find another counterspell. We assume we have it at this point. Fine. We get Thassa's Oracle from the list. That's I've never done this before. This is exciting. Oh, there you go. And demonic consultation. Bam. Oh, I said no. Yeah, we couldn't. We need to save it for this moment. This card. Bam. Have you ever seen this combo, guys? It's pretty potent, so I'm told. Okay, that is one way to do this. And Fabian, since you're here, the list is in the description. It's in the description. It is just and let us, if Fabian, if there's what were we missing? How do you infinite Teferi without him being in the command zone? We're all dying to know. I want to know too. As a mid-range game plan in the original deck list, Oracle 2, bad please, buff. Yeah, what the hell? Why is Thoracle so bad? I do agree that Thoracle needs some work. Like, it certainly isn't efficient enough. Like, printing win the game on a card just, if it's this slow to do, doesn't really make sense. You know what I mean? Like, I almost feel like the ones that say you can win on your upkeep, like those triggers are better. Because Thassa's Oracle, like the fact that you have to cast her for double blue, or Neoform her, right? Like I had to do there. Like, we needed Birds of Paradise. How difficult. How difficult. Tezzeret Vial plus Orrery equals Karth? No. Did you guys crack the code? Was this it? I've been ignoring you this whole time. Tezzeret? Vial? Vial Smasher? Vial what? Vial who? Vial where? There's no Vial here. We don't have a Vial here. Orrery. Completely unrelated. What happened to Tiny Bones gameplay? I want to say I have Tiny Bones constructed still. I was waiting to do another monocolored battle, but we never got to doing a monocolored battle. And I forget what I even played. I played Teshar. Because the bird needed love. And the bird lost horribly. Spoiler alert. But yeah, this is Sultai Super Friend. I would change the working title, but then it would ruin the link for people that are tuning in late, so I won't. But yeah, you can do what I just did on turn 5, which isn't, yeah, obviously the most efficient way to play this list, and that wasn't the intended goal for this list. I switched this to Sultai Super Friend because I thought the reweave sub strategy would be fun to push Teferi out quicker with Tevesh. A lot of people are mentioning a dude that I have never played with who's new. I think he's in Golgari. Karth the Line. Whenever Karth the Line enters the battlefield or a planeswalker you control dies, look at the top 7 cards of your library. You may reveal a planeswalker card from among them, put it in your hand. Planeswalker loyalty abilities you activate cost an additional 1 to activate. Oh, that's some shit. That's pretty cool. So you guys were saying that because we're in Sultai, you could cheat out Karth, utilize Karth, because you could actually Eldritch Evolution Thrasios into Karth, which is a thing, right? And then you can use the untap ability for free, right? So that's cool. I like that a lot. Ideally, you use Rings of Bright Hearth and Chainveil. It is overly complicated, but that's fine. That's fine. Thank you for tuning in. Regardless, Fabian, I'm almost certain that this is not the intended goal for Super Friends, but it's still something that we got to explore, and I'm happy with. I don't know, like, if I was gonna tweak this for CDH, there's some obvious things that you just do in blue-black, right? Despite the green. But being in green, I added a few more creature tutors because it seems like Kinnan is a pretty valuable piece in this list, particularly because it's a 1-2 punch with Basalt Monolith, and then obviously if your hand revealed a very quick Kinnan Basalt Monolith, you play out Thrasios, and with Infinite Generic, you have your deck in hand and every single land on the battlefield, so that's clearly good. One of the benefits of having Kinnan in the list, really. And obviously Kinnan in the command zone, if I'm not mistaken, people use Thrasios in the body of that list as an outlet, right? Still, because it's non-human with his ability. I don't know. I don't play Kinnan. Non-humans. And the dude is a merfolk. But yeah, there we go. Sultai Super Friend. Altered for my own desires. But guys, we are moving on to the next list at this point. And I'm sorry, Jeff, that it took so long. But we're moving on to HALVOLTRON. So let me cue that, and I'm going to read the quote that I received in regards to how HALVOLTRON should operate. And I'm going to try my darndest to stay on flavor. And by the way, 94% competitive right off the bat says tapped out. So you know the list is already potent. Mono white. Let's fight. All right. Jeff says, I've been playing a casual Halvar Voltron with no stacks, but I'd like to see just how much it could be optimized. Here's my first take on tuning it for more competitive play. Okay. Let me see here. And we have Halvar. So guys, if you don't know, there's this dude who came out this year, so long ago, Halvar, God of Battle. So for 2 generic, double white, legendary creature, God, mythic rare, 4/4 body. Really good stats, honestly. When you read the abilities, you'll see why. Creatures you control that are enchanted or equipped have double strike. That by itself is actually quite good if you're trying to go to Beat Street and Halvar gets there. Obviously, the back end of Halvar can also operate as a combo piece. We're not necessarily looking at that because I think the Voltron utility here lies more in Halvar than it does the sword, although we can take a look at the sword later anyways. Matter of fact, this might be a better way to view Halvar. And we're going to use the other art because I like the other art better. Sorry. At the beginning of each combat, you may attach target aura or equipment attached to a creature you control to target creature you control. Now, the only issue here, and why I like, obviously we're building Halvar, but I'll state that I like Arden's ability better because Arden doesn't care or require that the piece of enchantment or equipment is attached to anything from the get-go, and it also lets you do some cheesy things with that aura equipment. You can attach it to players and or other opponents' creatures, yada yada yada. Halvar, the equipment or aura does need to be attached. Obviously with auras they would have to be attached anyways, but that does sort of limit the types of equipment you can play with, right? Like Colossus Hammer is just as difficult to attach to a creature as it would be normally, where Arden says I can cheat the equip cost. Here you're probably going to want to use things like Pure Steel Paladin and or Sigarda's Aid, right? Sigarda's Aid would let you just auto-equip the thing, Hammer of Nazan, and of course we're going to take a look at the list in a second, and that'll give us a good indication as to what we're actually rolling with. But on the back end, we have Sword of the Realms. So 1 generic, 1 white, legendary artifact equipment. Equipped creature has +2, +0, and has vigilance, so that means it doesn't tap when it attacks. Whenever equipped creature dies, return it to its owner's hand. Yes. Yes, we like that. So, you could... if you had Pure Steel Paladin, and you had a creature, and you had Phyrexian Altar, you could equip this for free if you were at Threshold with Pure Steel Paladin, and make mana. And that's just one thing that comes to mind. Equip cost you control, or equip 0, as long as you control 3 or more artifacts. Obviously, you know, we don't need to work towards that. That doesn't make Halvar good. It doesn't make Halvar super playable as a combo card, the back end, that is. We could include that, though, if we like that in a blasting station. Do bear in mind that the creature you play for, though, needs to fit the mana requirement of the mana you're getting. So if it's Ashnod's Altar, the creature needs to be, 2 generic or under. If it's otherwise, like Phyrexian Altar, it would need to be one of your 1-drops. So in this instance, it's like Weathered Wayfarer, or name any one CMC value white card, Mother of Ruins, stuff like that. But let's just take a look at what we have. And Mother of Ruins is actually good here if we don't have it. It's here. Because the protection is really valuable for when you're doing Voltron to get the damage to actually go in. Not only does it protect yourself from removal, it's also going to give us the opportunity to attack and do damage. So I think the first thing we're going to do is just look over the entire list through the live edit and take out anything we see that feels odd. How about that? Is that okay? Let's do that. Let me check in with you guys. Completely unrelated. Ideally use rings, a bright hearth, and chain veil. It's overcomplicated. Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Fabian, for the suggestion. Thank you, Fabian. Honestly, I've always wanted to do a mass Planeswalker build. I do think, and someone I've played with in the past does this. He has a Sisay 5-color list, and that feels like the best route to go for like a Super Friends build, or one that just has a lot of planeswalkers, because to say you can search up legendaries, put them on the battlefield, and you can utilize that to get all your friends on the battlefield essentially. But I kind of like her for the planeswalker Super Friends strategy. Plus you're in 5 colors, so you get access to just a little bit more. But I do think Sultai is a great color right now, good color pairing right now, because there's a lot to do with that. At any rate, I think artifacts are arguably the most important part here, so we're going to ignore that for now, and then we'll remove what do we see that we don't want. Steal Super's Gift, open the armory, Dismantling Wave is good. We have Armageddon. We don't have Ravages of War, though. That upsets me. We can put in Ravages of War. I hate this stupid... What is this, like, shrink-wrapped version? Stop giving me that. We can put Ravages of War if we find ourselves going that direction. We have 29 lands. That's probably appropriate. Remote Farm. Do we have the... What is the other one? We have Remote Farm, but we don't have the other one. The other land that taps for 2 white. It's a depletion land. It's a depletion land. You guys can tell me what it is. Sandstone Needle. No, it's not Sandstone Needle. Wow. It's... I don't know what it is. Is Remote Farm the depletion land? Am I crazy? It might be. It is the depletion land. I'm crazy. I'm sorry. Can't believe you guys put up with me. Generous Gifts. Premium removal in mono white. Unexpectedly absent. Fine. Argivian fine. Good in this build. Do we have Hall of Heliod's Generosity? Maybe something we include once we look over the enchantments to see what kind of auras we're playing with. But also bear in mind if we're using our like Eidolon of Rhetoric, Rule of Law effects, Deafening Silence, stuff like that. Hall of Heliod's Generosity is going to be very good for slowing down the game. Trust me. I've used Weathered Wayfarer in mono white builds to prioritize Hall of Heliod's Generosity just to keep Deafening Silence on the battlefield. And I've made some pretty long games out of CDH that way. Yeah, all these look fine. Path to Exile's fine here. Yeah, I think that's enough instance. You could make an excuse for not Disempower, Disenchant. I don't know why my mind gravitated towards the lesser removal spell there, but you can make an argument for Disenchant. It's not absolutely necessary. We're playing Voltron, so when you think about removal in the game of CDH, let alone Commander, you do consider removal for the effects that are going to stifle you. And because Halvar's ability is unique, that it's a triggered ability, not that many stacks pieces hamper this. So, you know, if you're thinking about the things that are going to stifle or stop your strategy, you don't really need much by way of removal for enchantments or artifacts. Right, so we're really good there. And if the off chance that something is bothering us, unexpectedly absent is probably enough with Dismantling Wave. I guess the only ones I would consider are Disenchant and Fragmentize. Again, if you need more removal, those are the ones I offer. Humility is fantastic, by the way. This is definitely the list for Humility. If you guys don't know what Humility is, it's on the screen now. All creatures lose all abilities and have base power and toughness 1/1. It's the best. It's the best. Trust me. Especially when you've got your stuff equipped. Now, we don't have any auras. That doesn't mean that Open the Armory is bad. It just means that it doesn't have any targets in this realm. Which is fine. Which is fine. I do think that there's an excuse for Hall of Heliod's Generosity, though. And I'm going to assume that I'm going to take out Emergent Zone. I don't see us having an infinite combo. I don't see us needing this. I don't see us needing this. I don't. And not in mono white. You know, I have Emergent Zone in Teshar, right? But Teshar can actually win very easily off turn. And I'm not seeing any sort of combo enablers here, and they might be within the artifacts, but we can look over that in a second. Maybe we reintroduce it. But I do think that Hall of Heliod's Generosity kind of edges this out. And again, I'm just not seeing it. So, yeah. War Room's here too. Rogue's Passage. These are fine. Rogue's Passage is a good way to get in. It makes you unblockable. Or things can't block a thing. All good. These are all good. Rest in peace. Really, really love it, by the way. Okay, this is interesting. Now, mind you, this was clearly assembled before. This is a copied and paste list of Jeff's. This was clearly assembled prior to any of the D&D mentions and obviously the recent set. So, Esper Sentinel from Modern Horizons 2 is probably going to go in here. Pretty sure. Mangara's fine. Balan is one of my favorites, so yeah. Armored Sky Hunter. When Armored Sky Hunter attacks with the top 6 cards of your library, you may put an aura equipment card from among them onto the battlefield. If equipment is put on the battlefield, you may attach it. Yeah, we'll add Armored Sky Hunter. I'm seeing the Brass Squire. I'm not certain that Brass Squire is needed. So I'm going to put it to the side for now. I see Archon of Emeria. I see Eidolon of Rhetoric. Again, there's another excuse for Hall of Heliod's generosity. I would actually prioritize it now. Ranger Captain of Eos is great. Recruiter of the Guard. Thalia, Heretic Cathar. We could even add Little Thalia. She would be good here. And we can look into that. I do think that there might even be space for a Blind Obedience here. I wouldn't mind seeing that. Anything that makes our opponent's artifacts come into play tapped is always good. It also makes their creatures come into play tapped. So really great with the Voltron strategy. Like if we're trying to bring the player that's utilizing life as a resource down a peg, that's really good for it. Okay. This doesn't really stop too much, right? It stops more of what our opponents are utilizing than what we're utilizing. Samurai the Pale Curtain is a favorite. I'm glad that I'm seeing it here. It's really good against the sort of grinding station brain freeze strategies, although it's obviously not as good as a Rest in Peace. It's still fine here. It's very good for dismantling certain setups, right? Like if someone tries to do an intuition pile, their intuition pile is screwed by your Samurai the Pale Curtain just being out, so I like that. We also have Pure Steel Paladin, which is already discussed. SRAM is a necessary evil, maybe? It really depends. I gotta look at your artifacts to see what's there. I think Sarah's Ascendant's a little cute. I'm super iffy on Sarah Ascendant. It never pulls, unless it's your turn 1 play. I don't know. I'm not really high on Sarah Ascendant. Oh, there we go. That's another poll. Do we? Remove. And I am abbreviating this. But yeah, there's a new poll for you. And I'm going to catch up with you guys. I don't know why I have Emergent Zone there. Brass Squire is leaning into having many ways to cheat Colossus Hammer. Oh, there's a Colossus Hammer. Okay. There is a Colossus Hammer. So that's important to bear in mind. If you move away from Colossus Hammer, it's less good. Well, I'm going to take a look at our artifacts now. This is obviously the biggest part of this build. This is a Voltron build. This is HALVOLTRON! So we got to make sure that there's enough things to move on to things. And again, I'm going to wait till you guys get back to me on Sarah Ascendant. I'm going to check back in at 6:30, so 5 minutes to play a part of this poll. And clearly let me know if you think it's worth it in the list. Obviously, we don't really care about the lifelink, but having a flying 6/6 is good. It just feels a little weak relative to what else we can do, but it could be one of those things you use with Phyrexian Altar, right? Get those ETB triggers in, get those LTBs, baby. Not if we're using, clearly not if we're using Hushbringer, though. And I do think Hushbringer is probably better. Okay. Hammer of Nazan. Hammer of Nazan. Godo's best friend when Helm of the Host is an inaccessible strategy. I think that Hammer of Nazan is needed. I'll say it. I think it's needed. I do want to look at Little Thalia really quick. I think it's all spells, right? Non-creature. So if we're using Thorn of Amethyst, I think that there's an excuse for Thalia as well. Just because Thalia... I would actually rate Thalia, in case we don't know which one I'm talking about, Guardian of Throbbin, over Thorn of Amethyst. They do the same thing virtually, right, gang? You know, the Thorn of Amethyst non-creature spells cost 1 more to cast. It's 2 CMC, 2 generic, so it's a little bit easier to cast than Thalia. But Thalia is a first striking 2/1 body. Right? So it's just another thing that we can put equipment onto. So despite, you know, clearly us probably leaning towards Halvar as like the main target for most of our equipment, it's not a bad idea to push a little bit of hate onto something else, especially something that is a hate piece. I think Thalia would have a clear spot here. So definitely something I want to include. Whisper Silk Cloak, I get why it's here. I'm a little iffy on the Whisper Silk Cloak. The Shroud is really good. But the other thing is that, does this not say target? Oh, no. To target creature you control. You control to target creature you control. So the issue with things like that, the only one I'll make an excuse for that has Shroud is Lightning Greaves, because Lightning Greaves we can move for free, right? Lightning Greaves, and they might even be in the list, and we can just look at them. Lightning Greaves here, so haste and Shroud, as opposed to can't be blocked and has Shroud, right? So Whisper Silk is 5 total to do. Whatever has the thing attached to it, it has Shroud, but that also means we can't manipulate this easily to attach things to said creature. I'm a little iffy on Whisper Silk. I'm probably gonna say I'm iffy on Goldvein Pick, but I can understand why we like it here, because you are getting double strike coupled with the +1/+1. So if it's on Halvar is doing virtually 10/10 worth of attack and power on a turn, right? And you make on damage you make treasure, so that's not so bad. That seems better than Smothering Tithe. Yeah, so we'll do that. So the Animist, I think it's basic lands, right? And I believe I saw at least 8 basic planes. So 9 basic planes. So that's fine. We can do that. Rogue's Gloves seems like a necessary evil. Probably using it. I think you need Tome of Legends, my friend. I think you need Tome of Legends. And anyone who doesn't use Tome of Legends, use Tome of Legends. I also think that we can use the other card from Kaldheim. Hold up. Weathered Runestone. Right? Does this mess us up? Non-land permanent cards in graveyards and libraries can't enter the battlefield. No. Are we on Savine's Reclamation? Because Savine's Reclamation would be a good sorcery for you, right? Because we can a lot of our stuff is permanent based, so I would kind of want that. And then Weathered Runestone feels bad. But to be honest with you, you still don't give a shit. So I think we run Weathered Runestone and Savine's Reclamation. Are you guys taking note? Because we need to add these. Little Thalia, Weathered Runestone, Savine's Reclamation, Tome of Legends. I'm going to say we're off Colossus Hammer. I think it's too costly. I know it's good. But if this was Balan... I'd say yes. Grafted Exoskeleton's more than enough of a finisher. And I think with Giver of Runes, Mother of Runes, we're probably going to be fine for get. This is the same sort of idea as Goldvein Pick. It's fine. We can keep it. Skeleton Key, same thing as the Rogue's Gloves. I do think that they're fine. I think they're fine. Okay. Commander's Plate's great here. Expedition Map is probably prioritizing... Which of these lands do you really want? Maybe a Blast Zone, but like we discussed with Fragmentize and Disenchant, do you really need to destroy things? Is it your objective to destroy things? And maybe it is. Like you need to take some more proactive list down a peg, and that's fine. I think the best thing we grab is maybe Nykthos Shrine to Nyx, or at a certain point, maybe we would get a Maria Sky of Ruin out. I'm not really seeing a huge need for the Expedition Map here, and I could be wrong. Obviously, maybe we want it back in, but I don't know if we need it and Weathered Wayfarer. I think Weathered Wayfarer is probably fine enough. And also we want more slots to put in some of those other cards I was just discussing. I think this is all fine, though. I think we have everything else that we want, right? Yeah, this seems fine. Okay, checking in with you guys. It is definitely 6:30. Let's see where that poll ended. Closing it. Closing it now. Okay. Oh my god. Okay, so poll should have ended. Should tell us. Expedition map for Hall. Shit. Expedition map is a finisher? It's a finisher? Wait. Oh, like Rogue's Passage, maybe? I still think we're fine on it. I do still think we can pass on it. I don't know why. I closed the poll. We'll get those votes in while the poll is still active. It should close any minute now. But let's add the cards we wanted. You run... Okay, so it's 51 to 48. Tell me how that percentile works. Total of 99%. Not even YouTube sure. But it says keep Sarah Ascendant. So we're keeping Sarah's Ascendant. How about them apples? We're going to add Weathered Runestone. We're going to add Thalia. Heretic Cathar. We want a Guardian of Throbbin. Let me just make sure I spell that right. Guardian of Throbbin. It's probably going to auto-populate. There we go. What else did I say we wanted? I'm really great at remembering these things. Esper Sentinel. Definitely want Esper Sentinel. Hall of Heliod's Generosity. And I leave it to you. Savine's Reclamation. Fragmentize. Was there a piece of equipment you saw, or rather didn't see, that you want on the list? Did you want Colossus Hammer back in the list? Was I too unkind on Colossus Hammer? Let me know what you want to see. Why not play Spy Kit on this deck so that your creature has the name of any other creature? I'm not sure why we need Spy Kit. In case you guys don't know Spy Kit, there are some cute builds with Spy Kit. As a matter of fact, I think Nazan has a Spy Kit build that I saw ages ago. But creature gets +1/+1 all names of all non-legendary creature cards in addition to its name. So basically, it's everything. Not sure we need it. Urza's Saga. I will say yes to Urza's Saga. We'll need to remove another land for that. Sanctifier Envec is just okay. Sanctifier Envec might be better than Samurai of the Pale Curtain, though. I'm not going to lie. Because the protection is actually very valid. It's actually very good. Like, what is the most that Tymna list is going to have? It's going to have Tymna. It's going to have a Dark Confidant. Most of the things that list is going to put out, other than, like, the potential Spellseeker or a Gilded Drake, but Gilded Drake is trading, is going to have black in it, right? So you can get past that Tymna Crom player, Tymna whatever player in the most part, unless there's a Crom, but Crom's usually going sideways, unless they are in a dire straits and need to use Crom as a blocker. We can do Sanctifier Envec, and then we can cut some stuff. It's weird that it's still playable. Okay. My Voltron typically runs several swords. Blackblade Reforged. If you were running Cloak to make him unblockable, I'd run Zephyr Boots for evasion and draw. I could see Zephyr Boots over the Key, I think I saw. Zephyr Boots are good, though. Because Zephyr Boots give you looting. I believe you draw, then discard, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll add Zephyr Boots, and we'll switch that out for the Key. The Skeleton Key or Rogue's Gloves. There's one or the other in here. I also said Tome of Legends, and since we're prioritizing Halvar, I kind of want Tome of Legends in here. Infiltrator Lens, we were trying to, I don't know about Infiltrator Lens. You need Hammer and Hot Soup. Hot Soup's really cute. If you guys don't know what Hot Soup is, it makes it so your creature's unblockable. The only thing with Hot Soup, though, is if it gets removed, which we're... whenever a equipped creature is dealt damage, you destroy it. So, if it gets pinged. But the thing is, who's going to waste their time on that? I don't know. Hot Soup is really cool, though. I think Hot Soup is... We're going to put Hot Soup in here. I like Hot Soup. Because Hot Soup means automatic double strike in this world, right? So I kind of like Hot Soup. Is there anything else? We'll put Savine's Reclamation as well. Savine's Reclamation is very good. Casual, competitive, doesn't matter. It's good. It's always good. So there is Hammer of Nizan, so we can definitely play that strategy. Hot Soup feels weird, but I've never run Hot Soup in a list. Why not this one? How about that? That's my philosophy. Why not? Skeleton Key. So Skeleton Key versus Zephyr Boots. Equipped creature has flying, deals combat damage, draw a card, then discard a card. Equipped creature deals damage to a player, draw a card, discard a card. So they're both good. They're both the same cost. They both have evasion, right? It can't be blocked by creatures with greater power. I think the evasion on Zephyr Boots is more relevant in most cases. It's not bad to have both, though, bearing in mind that the creature has double strike, so we'll keep both. I'm not really sure what to cut. Give me 1 second. We need to get 5 cards. Well, let's start with the lands, right? I think we can go back down to 29 lands. And in desperate times like these, I think we just get rid of one of the planes. Is that the most optimal way to do this? It's tough to say, like, that Emeria gets there. It's clearly good. I'm going to remove Emeria Skyruin. And I know Flagstone of Trocare is there, but I'm also going to get rid of Armageddon. I don't think the mass land destruction subteam, like, I think it's enough that you enlighten Tutor Humility, right? And then we prioritize having Hall of Heliod's Generosity down. Excuse me. We just prioritize having this down all the time, so that we can get Humility back, keep doing it. Because that also means Thassa's Oracle's dead. It's probably better for us to keep our lands. Despite us having the ability to generate mana with, one of 2 of these things, the Prying Blade Gold Vein pick, this might be the better way to go. Okay. No one is doing damage to it. No. Hot Soup is classic. Skeleton Tea can't be blocked by Gitrog. True. I still like it just because the double strike means that we can loot even further. Although we are probably rest in piecing all of this stuff. Scroll Rack feels weird. I'm going to put Scroll Rack to the side. I'm going to consider it a blessing if we're going card positive any game in mono white. Like, if we've got a hand of 5 to 6 cards, that's enough. That's probably enough. I think Scroll Rack is very optimistic here. I don't think we're going to need it. And we need to remove 2 more cards. Oh, that's right. Sanctifier Envec. So the thought was that Sanctifier Envec could replace Samurai of the Pale Curtain. Yeah. It could. Because I would rather have... the more creatures, the merrier with a Voltron build, generally speaking. Can't remove any of these. Yeah. That's just the way it is. That is just the way it's going to have to be. Now, I feel like Armored Sky Hunter is slow, but good here. It really depends on our starting hand. I'm not super high on Armored Sky Hunter, but I understand why it's there. Oh, damn. Okay. Urza Saga for Expedition map for Halloween. You're so right. Yeah, screw what I'm saying. Yeah, you should put it in. But Joseph Hayhurst says, you should know I've finally been corrupted. Assembled my first CDH list from scratch. Belby Stacks! Ugh! Might be the most degenerate thing I've ever built. Chains of Mephistopheles finally has a home. Congratulations! You use chains in yours. That sounds good. I'm still fighting whether I put in... I want to do 1 Rushed Rebirth, because I haven't found a slot for Rushed Rebirth in mine. But I do think Rushed Rebirth into a Dothi Voidwalker is really good. And 2, I'm really thinking that Void Mirror could play there. I know that we're just generating, generic mana, but you just tap one of your lands and use the generic as well. Like, you can get around Void Mirror's effects. And odds are likely opponents will forget about Void Mirror. And I will not allow take-backsies with that shit. You're going to suffer Void Mirror because that's how the stacks piece works. At any rate, what a friend I am. Yeah. That's awesome. Thank you, Joseph, for the super chat. And also, congratulations on Belby. I love the list. I'll play it later. By the way, guys, after this stream... Hold up. After this stream, I'm joining another stream with Ernesto to play some games. So I will need to end at a certain point. But I'll be playing with Dead on Board. Both, I believe, Jimmy and Rick of Dead on Board. So if you've ever watched Dead on Board MTG, or if you've never watched Dead on Board MTG, join me later tonight there. And if you're watching the stream after the fact, well, then I'm sorry. Okay. Was Rest in Peace added yet? It definitely is. Is the Flawless Maneuver not worth the card? I don't... I think we can look at Flawless Maneuver. This is the one of the commander spells. If you have a commander, it's free. Creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. I think it's fine. I think we're okay if our creatures die. Like, if they're going to bite a bullet, they bite the bullet, and that's okay. Sky Hunter is less good with no hammer. Even Mind Sensor? Having Manlands and MDFC, dude, is solid. One argument for the hammer, Colossus Hammer, you mean. Right, I can understand that. Mind Sensor is there. Never mind. Okay, his point is that Halvar can't equip the hammer, just moves it around. Yeah, so like our main... So Armored Sky Hunter isn't in the command zone, so it's tough for me to say that we should play for Armored Sky Hunter. I'm going to take it out because I'm hopeful that between SRAM... Like, of my 4-drops, the 4-drop I want to play is going to be Balan, Halvar, or Mangara over Armored Sky Hunter. Because I'm assuming I've kept a hand that allowed me to play out some of these decent, Voltron pieces of equipment. We'll look at adding Armored Sky Hunter back in later, but I think that is the card to take out for this to reduce our curve, prioritize the cards that need to be played out. I think the things that are in the 4CMC slot that are left are just arguably better. Obviously, if you have Lightning Greaves down, and there's even a case to be made for Swift Foot Boots that's already in there, I didn't even notice it, then it's good, and we'll just see how this plays, and maybe we reintroduce it, and it makes sense. But for now, I feel like that's the one to go. Phyrexian Mirror is also card double strike equipped like Slow But Decent. Okay. Sky Hunter is high variance. It does feel that way. And do we keep this hand? If I top deck a land, it's very good, right? If I top deck a land, this is a good hand, right? Somewhat decent? It's not good enough. I'm just curious, though. No. I saw the Deafening Silence, I saw the Mother of Runes, and I saw Mox Diamond, okay? I got excited. This is keepable. Okay. I'm going to leave this on the battlefield because we're ultimately working our way towards that. Now, this is a weird hand because we clearly want to do this into this. We have Sword of the Animus next turn, right? We're holding the Chrome Mox. Obviously, the better starting hand would have been able to get the Chrome Mox down now with the silence available because games can finish this quickly and or play out a stacks piece. The reason I'm keeping this is because we have Serra Ascendant. Enough said, right? Also, we can very easily get to Halvar this way, so with Ancient Tomb and such. Oh, okay. That makes things a little bit better too. Let's see here. I think the thing we want to do is just power out the Sword of the Animist. Am I wrong? Here, wait. 1. That's 3 mana. 1 mana floating. Sword of the Animist. Because we need to have the thing pre-attached for Halvar to switch it, right? So at least this primes us to have Halvar move Sword of the Animus to him, provided we like that. But to be perfectly honest with you, having a 7/7 right now, that's going to find us a land in this very instance, is extremely good. Yeah, so we're going to do that. And again, do I want a stacks piece on the board? I do. It's tapped, right? Yeah, okay. I do, but we don't have it, and that's fine. Let's just pretend that in this happy-go-lucky world that we survive another rotation. People are playing control magic. They're being very courteous. We need to hold the silence. Chrome Mox still does not have a valid... There we go. A valid thing to exile, sadly. Okay. Now, we do have Nykthos Shrine to Nyx, and this is the saddest way to filter mana, right? So let's just try to do this first. We'll do this to play Halvar. Halvar's slow, so we're not too concerned with that. However, Serra Ascendant is a double striking 7/7 that's going to be finding us lands. That's pretty damn good in my book. See, again, the magical world where you turn one Serra Ascendant is pretty good. We also top deck that Soul Ring like in a very clutch scenario. So clearly this is panning out better than it could have. But doing so, playing our turnout like this, we also have Ancient Tomb with Nykthos Shrine to Nyx to generate 3 white mana. Is 3 white absolutely necessary? No, but I like overkill. So let's go ahead and do a Aethersworn Canonist here, floating a white. And then, I don't know, we're not going to cast Silence here. But basically, we're going to move to combat at the beginning of combat, not do that, and we're going to swing with Serra Ascendant. And you play Ad Nauseam, bam, we're going to do 14 damage that way. That seems pretty darn good. Not going to lie. All right, Victor Milan says, Teferi Chainveil stacks deck. Let's hold those horses down, boys. Is this a deck we want? Is this a future deck? Are you trying to tell me you want me to do Teferi Chainveil after seeing Fabian's Sultai Super Friend? That we want a Teferi Chainveil list? It could be a thing. We could do that. I mean, as much as I love brewing for blue, has Teferi gotten any love recently? I don't know. I don't think so. So maybe. Yeah, maybe we do that. Let me see here. My bad. I know this is off rail stream, but lines for winning are insane in Arden Jessica equip. You know what's funny? I'm trying to build an Arden list I enjoy. So Tabletop Games, go ahead and link that list in the comment section afterwards, because I have a Jessica that's not being played and I have an Arden that's not being played. And I want to play Arden. Okay. We're assuming that this is all good, that no one cares. Jeff, and you have the stacks piece too. Sweet. Turn to Halvar if you have a card Mox. Yeah, so this is good so far. Like, so far as turn 3 is concerned, we finally have the stacks piece down. If we were concerned that someone was going to try to counter or stop Aethersworn Canonist, unlikely. We could have silenced beforehand, but I don't see us wanting to use it there. We just have a very odd setup with our hand, but this is fine. We're doing a lot of damage. We really need card draw, right? Obviously. And we also could just utilize some more equipment. So not what we found, but we're not in a bad spot. You know what? Let's take the Lotus Petal back. I don't think I shuffled there. And now we'll do it. Okay. Was that me cheating a little bit? Maybe. But I'm trying to provide a more interesting and honest gameplay. So, okay. Aethersworn Canonist is nice because what we're doing here is still very playable. We're obviously going to put down, Recruiter of the Guard. I do think that Sword of Fire and Ice might be our best friend here. There's not a better draw utility so far as equipment is concerned, I don't think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Obviously, the other thing you can get is the grafted exoskeleton, right? If you want to try to close out the game. But honestly, our hand is really shy of cards, and we need to fix that. So this is the way to fix that. What am I doing? This is not what I'm thinking. Recruiter of the Guard is going to find, what can we find that's going to give us equipment? We need Stoneforge Mystic. Then we'll do the sword. So we do that. And then we do Stoneforge Mystic. Let's get on the right track, people. Get on the right track. Are you crazy? Stoneforge Mystic. Then we get Sword of Fire and Ice. Then we tap here and here. Way ahead of myself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 white mana. Then we do Sword of Fire and Ice. Okay, so found a creature, 2 or less defense. Yada, yada, yada. I'm sorry I fast-tracked that. I was thinking way ahead of myself. So 6 white mana, 3 cast. Again, we have mana open for silence. It's never going to be a thing. We are going to equip, and this seems odd, but we're going to equip Halvar. It's usually best, like, if there's a utility on the battlefield that you're really leveraging, if you're trying to leverage it for the most of its potential, it's best not to make it a target moreover than it already is. So part of me feels like Sword of Fire and Ice should go to something else so that we keep Halvar, but I genuinely don't mind if Halvar gets removed, which is kind of sad to say, because I haven't been utilizing or leveraging that bottom half, but I do care about the double strike. So moving Sword of Fire and Ice onto Aethersworn Canonist, right? Someone might have already been primed to remove the Aethersworn Canonist, and I don't want to give them incentive or reason to remove Halvar, so doing that might also be wise, but I'm going to put it on Halvar because that's what we want to do. So Halvar is a 6/6 protection from red, blue, double strike monster. We could technically move the Sword of the Animus, if I'm not mistaken, onto Halvar as well. But I do like it on Serra Ascendant because the lifelink is making sure that our life total never goes lower than the 30 for the, static effect there. We're going to do this, remove a threat. We'll likely, because this is on damage, we'll likely just keep Aethersworn Canonist up. Assuming that there isn't a valid attack here. Obviously, these things stick as well. And yeah, we'll draw a card. We'll also, we'll stack the triggers this way. Let's get rid of a Plains first from our deck. Shuffle, and then draw a card with Sword of Fire and Ice. That makes a lot more sense than doing it the other way around. Still draw a land. Did I play a land this turn? I don't know if I did. I don't think I did. We'll put this down. Okay, let's see where you guys are at. Haven't seen one in a while, but will love to see what you come up with. He was my first love, and when I started EDH the pre-con years ago, later I was sleeping on a monster, felt like GG. So, Victor, one of our players really loved Chainveil Teferi for the longest time. And he switched to Urza when Urza came out. But it'd be fun to revisit Chainveil Teferi. You generally want to spread equipment around. Yeah. Hi, am I hecka late? A little bit. It looks like. No, we're wrapping up some gameplay for Halvar. I think that we understand that this is going a good direction and that we should try one more hand before we close this one out. And so I can catch my breath. But yeah. Turn 2, killing Halvar. Serra is nearly 2-turn killer also. I think we keep this because... So, I mean, if you're looking at this, I know this feels weird. I can't say it's particularly good, but this slows things down, and it also gives us... It's funny, like, these are the other creatures that you want to be your commander, coupled with Halvar, and we have the stacks piece that doesn't hinder them. But then again, we also only have this. We have a turn 1 Thorn of Amethyst, and then what, Oh shit, humility is pretty good. Oh damn. We want equipment though. We want equipment in our starting hand, so I'm not going to keep this. Okay. Open the armories there. This has all of the right pieces. It feels good. Let's keep it. Okay. And we top deck some equipment on top of it to boot. Now, unlike last time where silence was fucking useless, excuse my language, I'm going to go Chrome Mox just dumping the silence. Sorry, you did nothing for me last game. We're going to put down a Blast Zone, just threatening life. We will cast an Arcane Signet, and I'll go ahead and cast a Deafening Silence. That feels like a good start. That feels okay. Again, our hand is gone. It's shot, but we can come back. We'll bounce back. Ooh, City of Traders or Plains. Now, the way we're slow rolling here with Deafening Silence, I feel like it's safe to just go Plains into Halvar here. I think this is a Halvar turn, if I'm not mistaken. And just Halvar. I think Deafening Silence just being there is enough, right? This is white. This is clearly white. And that's fine. This way, sequencing it this way gives us the opportunity to equip Gold Vein Pick, build up treasures, continue with our turns. And Open the Armory, again, is likely to get sort of Fire and Ice. In most HALVOLTRON builds, I feel like that's the piece of equipment I go for the most. It's sad to say, but the draw is so essential. It really is. But let me see where you guys are at. Let's see. Is this like a combo deck thingy, or is it just it's a Voltron build? No equipment, no draw, extra medium, top deck for the win. I never really got lured by Urza. Guess it was more because of how popular he got when he came out. Just Urza's really good. Urza's it's just a complete package on one card. Maybe, I mean, I can see why Urza's popular. It also just happens to be Urza, so folks that enjoy like the lore of the game. Urza's been around for ages, so they probably enjoy that. I don't really follow much. I'm not worth those players. I don't follow much of the story or lore behind the characters, but I think that's partially to blame too for his popularity. Obviously, Mask of Memory is better than Gold Vein Pick. Yeah, so we're going to prioritize this. We might be able to do both. So City of Traders, Blast Zone, Halvar, Mask of Memory. And I'll tell you why I'm just going to do this. Well, it's you draw 2, then discard 1, right? Okay. We can do both. So let's just do both. Let's pretend, mind you, what we draw into could be better. But I want to do both. Oh no, I can't. Because Deafening Silence. I'm a dirty, dirty, filthy liar. Maybe we pull into a creature and we have the mana for it. But yeah, I think I tapped the appropriate amount for Mask of Memory. Let's go ahead and attack. We have double strike. We're doing 8 worth of damage. Draw 2, discard 1. Draw. And it's on damage, mind you. And so there's the double strike damage phase followed by the regular attack damage phase, right? So there's 2 separate phases, 2 separate triggers. We need to discard another card here. I genuinely think that it's going to be... I hate this. It's going to have to be the Lotus Petal. That feels weird. It is the Lotus Petal. We've got enough mana. I'm not too concerned about that. And we do have the opportunity to play a Giver of Runes here, so we'll do that. And we'll pass. Okay, so now, do we need the excess mana from Gold Vein Pick, or do we just want to go Open the Armory for another utility that we would want to play? It almost feels like it's best to just go to the attack now to see what our hand gives us after a Mask of Memory attack, and then decide on what we play out this turn. But you can see how this deck is rolling. It's slow-balling. Obviously, the ideal situation here is that Mask of Memory finds more stacks, like a Rest in Peace would be ideal. Or the new Sanctifier Envec would be ideal here. You saw the stacks build up. We've added Weather Runes Dome to go or the Grafdigger's Cage. There's a lot of hate. We're just not pulling into it. So to finish this one off, let's go ahead and attack. See what we find. That was too much. But I mean, we're going to draw it anyways. Whatever. We get one of these two coupled with these to discard. We are going to get rid of the Rogue's Passage, just assuming that it's not necessary here, and then we'll draw 2 more, get to discard a card. And unfortunately, because of the way our deck is lined up for us, this is weird. We're not playing any stacks, and the Deafening Silence is slowing things down quite a bit. I think that the most logical play here would be Hammer of Nazan to make him indestructible. Of all the things, sadly, that's the one. But what's good about that is it's also a way to auto-equip once we pull our next piece of equipment. It's a shame. I was really hoping to pull into more stacks, but we're going to keep Hammer of Nazan. I'll discard the Prismatic Vista here. That's fine. We'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll do Hammer of Nazan, auto-equipping our boy. Just want him to be indestructible because he's doing the damage, and obviously Giver of Runes can protect him. Maybe we can do Hammer of Nazan on her. And another reason we didn't need the Rogue's Passage, because it makes him unblockable. So we have Giver of Runes, so that's good too. Maybe this is best having Hammer of Nazan on her because she can tap to give him protection anyways, and her being indestructible is valuable. Most board wipes or effects that are going to remove creatures aren't going to remove Halvar in most cases. So, I mean, I'm thinking of like pyroclasms and such. People don't generally run mass board wipes in CDH. It's just not a thing unless it's Toxic Deluge and or Fire Covenant if you're me. Okay. This is fine. We only altered maybe 6 to 10 cards. Obviously, we needed to add some of the newer cards that just weren't available when you went about building this, Jeff. Like, obviously, Esper Sentinel makes sense for the list. But everything else is good. Everything else is good. This is fine. I think that, maybe the stacks cocktail isn't quite balanced yet. Like, maybe there could be a few more stacks pieces to make this even more playable. But it's fine the way it is. I like it a lot. Again, the link for this list is in the description. So if you just want to take it and do with it what you will. Obviously, maybe there's a case to be made for Armored Skyhunter here because of how the game shook out at the end, right? Like, it would have been nice to have something that was attacking and peeling through our list looking for solutions. And Armored Skyhunter would have been good there because you reveal the top 6, or you look at the top 6 and get to put one on the battlefield. So maybe there's a case for him there. But I do think by and large, you're kind of shooting for the things like the draw utilities at 4, like Mangara, and or, manipulating sort of Fire and Ice, which is 5, to do the thing instead. Yeah, shoot. Filling your hand in white is difficult, and unfortunately we can't solve that today. But I do hope that this was the HALVOLTRON you sought, and maybe a better version of it. I don't know. I personally think that you're probably always going to shoot for Halvar himself and not necessarily the back end of Halvar, although the sword is very good. But you can play for the sword in different builds, much with combos, rather, that I had suggested off the bat there. But as I do with all of these videos, I'd like to thank our Patreon members. Thank you so much for your support here on the channel. Jeff, Fabian, I appreciate you guys so much. And, of course, anyone who shows up with the super chat in hand, I appreciate you guys a whole lot too. And all you viewers who tune in every week to see me lose my breath and drink tequila, I really appreciate that. These are so fun to do. I'm really happy that the Brewmaster segment is a thing because it's allowing me to approach lists I wouldn't generally approach. And hopefully in a new direction that, our Brewmasters hopefully like. But I definitely enjoyed both of these lists. I'm excited to do more of these. And let me check up with you guys really quick. Thanks for going over the list, Pat. Yeah, no, I'm glad we got to it. I think you mentioned this 2 or 3 months ago, so it's like it was about time. Just doing these monthly is at 2 at a time monthly. I think is perfect for this segment, but I'm super happy with it. Let me see here. That and Gix. And the first Phyrexian in a way, but when we see a competitive Primal Surge build, oh my god, so many good questions. But guys, make all those suggestions in the comment section after this video concludes. Obviously, I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you'd like to see done next for Cold Brew. But again, my name is Patrick Marlette, and happy brewing, babies.